Hello, this is Howard Jones. You're listening to The Blend with Steve Benz.
Welcome back to The Blend, broadcasting live in downtown Chicago. My name is Steve Benz. I have the pleasure of having someone return to the show already, just a couple of weeks later. He is on tour. He's got the voice that women just said they just wanted to hear. They did not want to hear me talk. How about that, Tony? Everybody wants to hear you talk but me.
Yeah, well, thank you. I think you've got a great radio voice.
Well, they just don't want me singing your songs. I think that's what they're accusing me of.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, no, it's yeah. I'm lucky that you know, my voice is still there, and I'm singing and gigging all the time. You know, at the moment we're in Oklahoma at the Fire Lake Arena, and so it should be good. It's going really well, the tour, and to be honest, mate, I want to do more stuff in America.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, and Tony Hadley has to kind of make a name for himself in America. And that takes a long time and a lot of work, but I'm determined to do it.
Well, first of all, I have to give you some kudos. The women love you. You're tall. Women like that. You have a British accent. So you're set for America, my friend.
Well, that's all good. I tell you, I do love it when sometimes you get, oh, I love your accent. I think it's really kind of cool. So, no, I like coming over here, and the audiences are fantastic as well. I have to say that so far, you know, we've had some terrific audiences, and they're really, really receptive. And we've also been doing a new song in the set as well, and they're really receptive to the new stuff as well. So it's good. It's a good vibe, really good vibe.
Were you nervous headlining this tour? We actually talked about it, and you didn't sound nervous, but now that you're there, did you have any jitters before you started?
Well, to be honest, I always get nervous before I go on anyway. There is never an occasion where I don't get a little bit nervous, and it's good. I mean, we're doing a lot of traveling on this tour,
yep.
and so there's a lot of driving and stuff. So, you know, which is great because we get to see America. But you know, even so, wherever I am, I always get a little bit nervous just before I go on stage. It's just that moment where you get the butterflies. But then that gives you the edge. It gives you the edge when you're tired.
Right, because you don't want to go on. If you're so relaxed, sometimes it just doesn't work out really well.
No, you want to be kind of adrenaline. You know, you want a bit of an adrenaline junkie anyway. So you want to be kind of vibed up. So. So no, I think it's a good thing for an artist to get nervous. When an artist says, "Oh, I never ever get nervous," I'm not sure I believe that.
Now, of course, since you're driving across America, we don't all just look like Oklahoma. I'd like to point that out.
No, I know. Well, my auntie lives just outside of Chicago. Actually, my auntie Granny. So, well, outside of Chicago, 2 hours away. You know, so. But no, we were in Chicago. I was in Chicago. We found out a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And but it's interesting. I've never been to Texas, and I've never been to Oklahoma. So, no, sorry, I've been to Austin, Texas, but I've not seen the countryside. So I'm getting to see a lot more of America than you know I normally would, because a lot of the time it's just kind of the East Coast or the West Coast. So
right.
It's pretty cool.
Right. Now, if you come to Chicago, I'll hang out with you. I'll show pieces of Chicago no one gets to see.
Well, Chicago is a cool town, actually. I did. It was just 2 or 3 years ago. We did the Gay Pride Festival in Chicago. That was great fun. Everyone was so friendly. It was great fun. You know?
Right. Because again, people love the Brits, and just like you know, I do a segment. I got a show that's in the UK, and they love me because of my accent. So I know how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing. We always think, you know, because America, we see all the films and the TV shows. So when we come to America, it's like being in it's kind of like being in a film set. So we, especially when you go to places like New York as well, and you know, and LA. So we get off on the same kind of thing, you know. And then you love the Houses of Parliament and St. Paul's Cathedral and everything.
Right. And you're going, please stop it. And then you want to go see Liberty, and we're going, God, you're such a tourist. So.
No, well, we all do the same things, you know, in each other's country. Buckingham Palace.
Right, there you go. Now, you talked about Los Angeles. Do you have any desire to act, or do you have any opportunity to act?
No one's really ever asked me, but I'd love to be in a film. I'd love to be. Funny enough, I was speaking to a friend of mine in England today who's an actor, and he's got a friend of his who's a director, and he said, "Have you ever done any films, Tone?" I said, "Well, no, I haven't. No one's ever asked me." He said, "Well, look, I'm going to talk to this guy. You'd be great. So if there's anyone out there listening, yes, I'd love to do a film in Hollywood."
See, right there. I'm going to get you a job, an acting gig. There you go.
That'll be great. I'll be forever grateful, mate.
That would be fun. You could play the role of the rock star, right? You could play that.
the aging rock star.
Right. So then you got to put that long coat on. You got to spike out your hair a little bit. So you got to throw a little 80s in
My hair's
there.
still there, thank God. My hair's still there. So.
Isn't that the truth? As we get old as men, it's all about our hair. As long as we still have hair up there, we're okay.
We're okay. Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be honest, I mean, I'm 57 there, which is kind of crazy because I think how did I get to 57? But my enthusiasm for music and life and everything is great. I've got 5 beautiful kids, and the youngest 2 are 10 and 5. So it kind of keeps me young, and I still try and keep fit and everything else. And my voice is still. Yeah. I think I'm singing better than I ever did before.
That's that.
So,
a lot of the other singers I've spoken to have said the same thing. They think they sound, and you sound better than you did 20, 25 years ago. Why is that?
I think it's because I've never stopped doing it. I mean, I look at people, I mean, the greats like, say, Tony Bennett. I mean, Tony Bennett can still, he's 92, I think. Right. He still sings like a dream. Tom Jones, Daryl Hall, there's some Steve Perry, there's some amazing singers, and they still sound fantastic, Steven Tyler from Aerosmith still sounds amazing. That's incredible. And so I think if you keep doing it, it's when you stop, that's when you get a problem. And I mean, I gig all the time, and it's pretty tough on the home life sometimes, At the moment, the school holidays with the kids, so they're missing me big time. But my job is my job.
Yeah, but now you have technology, which makes it a lot easier. At least you could FaceTime. You could see your kids. Do your kids actually know who you are? Really know who you are?
Yeah, no, they kind of do. They kind of do because, I go on TV in the UK and they go into school the next day and say, "Oh, I saw your dad on television," So they kind of sort of... They're kind of mini celebrities at the school when I go on TV, but they don't take it too seriously. And where I live, everybody knows me. We just go in the pubs like everybody else. We live in the country, and everybody just treats me. I'm just Tone, and that's good.
Yep. Now, I'm sure you have a daughter like me, and when she sees me out and about, it's pretty much like, "Dad, you chose to wear that." Do you get any of that?
Yeah, well, my eldest daughter, Tony, I mean, I've got 3 daughters, Tony, Zara. Why did I have her called Tony? I don't know. But I've got Tony, Zara, and Genevieve. And then I've got 2 sons, Tom and Mac. And my eldest daughter is, there are moments when she said to me, because, she's had a tattoo, which I hate tattoos, and she said, "Dad, you can't talk to me. Some of the stuff you wore when you were younger was kind of outrageous." And but it was good fun. It was what was happening at the time, and so it was exciting.
But it's back. All of it is back. I have a daughter who also has a tattoo. Drives me crazy to see it. So.
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. And piercings as well. I can't do it. The only person who goes near me with a needle is a nurse or a doctor. Other than that, you don't come near me with a needle.
Isn't that the truth? Now, were you athletic at all when you were young? I mean, did you do something else other than sing?
What, in terms of sports?
Did you play any sports, soccer or whatever?
Yeah, no, soccer, a big soccer player. I'm not very good, but no, soccer, and also I love skiing. I absolutely adore skiing. I'm going to go, there's 22 of us going just before Christmas, so that's going to be great fun with all the kids. And also I love riding, horse riding. Yep. So, and all my children ride. My wife is a great rider as well. But it's mainly soccer. That was the main thing. I'm a terrible golfer, awful golfer. Not very good at tennis either, but so, there you go.
That's because we're tall, okay? It's a disadvantage to be a golfer or a tennis player to be really tall, so...
honestly, I have a Tony Hadley Golf Classic every year. In fact, it's in September. And we raise money and have a lovely golf down and dinner for Action Medical Research, a big charity. And of course we get a lot of the fans come to see the tee off.
Yep.
And please don't watch me when I'm teeing off because you can guarantee the ball's going to go everywhere but where it should go.
And they all quietly clap. Like, that was great. That was great. You hit it 3 feet. Toning. That's very good. Very good.
Well,
hit.
to be honest with you, it's become a standing joke. The chances of me hitting it first time or hitting it, straight ahead. And so they all know that I'm going to fluff it. They just know.
Maybe you should do a Tony Hadley like bowling charity of some sort. Maybe you could bowl. That's an American thing.
No, I'm useless at bowling as well.
Yeah. See?
I mean, I like to keep fit. I like to go running and stuff. I've got a gym in my house and stuff, and in one of the outbuildings and that. So I like to keep fit. But I think it is because you're tall. My coordination is dreadful. My wife says to me sometimes, "No, don't touch that. Don't touch that. You'll break it." Because I'm all sort of arms and legs.
It's funny how that is. Just funny how that. Now, I had a question before you went on. Now, you just had a sound check. What entails at a sound check? Are you just singing a couple of things, or are you listening for something specific for tonight's venue?
Well, I mean, the thing is, the sound that you get on stage does affect your performance. If you get a lousy on-stage sound, yeah, sure, you'll do a great performance, but it doesn't feel very comfortable. So you want to go on knowing that you can hear everything perfectly, the drums, the guitar, the keyboards, percussion, your voice. You need to hear your voice in the right way, so it's big and it's warm and it's loud. And when you get all those elements together, you get the balance right, then it just inspires you with confidence when you go on stage. And I think once you get the sound right, you do a great performance.
Now, what do you do before you hit the stage? Because there's several bands on before you, so it's a little bit of time before you go on. So what are you doing backstage to get ready?
We'll normally have a couple of glasses of wine and watch some of the artists as well. I've watched all the artists. I enjoy watching, listening to the music and watching the guys and girls. And then before I go on, we have I do a load of warm-ups. I do 20, 30 minutes of vocal exercises before I go on. And then we have a little ritual, a little sort of, it's called a 99. It's 99% alcohol and 1% mixer. So we toast each other before we go on, and we all shake hands. We have a little ritual before we go on.
Well, that's good. I like to hear that. So you have to have. I'm going to have to start doing that before my shows now. A 99.
You got to have it. A 99. Yeah. So it's a swift drink. It livens you up a little bit.
Right. The FCC may write me a letter, but that's okay as long as they don't know. I'll just say, it's medicine. It's medicine. I need it.
It'll be all right. Exactly. It's medicine.
Now, before you were talking about, now that you've been singing this long, any thoughts of retirement, or are you going to be like a Tony Bennett, be able and want to sing well into your golden years?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think if you get into the music business and you love what you do, it is a drug, and you don't ever want to give it up. And that accolade that you get when you go on stage is something that you really never want. You never want it to end. And so when you get classic singers like Tony Bennett, I mentioned Tom Jones, also Jack Jones, great singer Jack Jones.
Yep.
These guys are still singing great, and they've had great careers. And why should they give it up? Paul McCartney, for instance. I mean, people like Tom Petty. I mean, Bruce Springsteen. They're not getting any younger, but they love what they do, and that's the key to it.
Now, if you could go, let's say you're on a final tour. Who would you want on the bill with you? Any specific singers that you haven't sung with or haven't seen perform?
Well, I've seen them perform, but I'd love to do something with Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Yep.
Big Hall and Oates fan.
I think we spoke of that before. That would be incredible. I would pay top dollar for that.
Yeah. They're both super cool singers and amazing songwriter. I think the most successful American duo in history. Yeah. Also Bruce Springsteen. I'm a big Springsteen fan. I think he looks like. I tell you a story. There was Paul Young. You know Paul Young?
Yes.
Wherever I lay my hat, Paul Young, the English singer.
Yep.
And he said to me, "I've just come back from Los Angeles." I said, "Oh, how was it?" He said, "Oh, great." He said, "I was out with Bruce Springsteen. We went out for a couple of days on the Harleys, and I was so jealous."
Well, you got to bring a Harley and just call Bruce. Just have your people call his people.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah, I get the Harley out. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You pull out the leather jacket. Now, would you sing a Daryl Hall and Oates song or a Bruce Springsteen in your set ever? You think you could sing one of those?
Oh, yeah. Well, funny enough, I mean, Rich Girl, we do Rich Girl sometimes, and we've only done it acoustically, but we were gonna rehearse it today, and we're gonna try it in at some point. So we didn't get a chance to rehearse today, but we will probably tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, I love it, and also I recorded a version of "She's Gone" on an album a few years ago, and yeah, big fan.
I'm gonna have to find that one for sure. I didn't realize that you recorded that.
Yeah, She's Gone. It's on a sort of a covers album that I did, and I also recorded a version of "Save a Prayer" with Simon Le Bon doing backing vocals, which is one of my favorite songs.
I should know that because that's the cover I play all the time. I've got that CD. Oh, shame on me for not realizing you did "She's Gone." So
yeah, there you go.
You know, it's just a blur because whenever people want to hear your voice like they are now, I'm getting pounded with song requests for you. So I could just play an hour of your music and not say a word.
Yeah. Well, I've got a new album. We've just been we think we got the first 3 or 4 singles, and we've nearly finished the album. So an album of original songs. So I'm
awesome.
Really looking forward to getting that out as well. It'd be great to come and tour the States with that, too.
Yeah. When you get ready, you just come back, you just let me know, and we'll have you on. If you do a tour stop here in Chicago, we'll make sure we get together, do a little Facebook Live with you.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool, mate. That'd be absolutely cool.
Well, Tony, I don't want to keep you. I know that you're getting ready for your performance tonight. Always a pleasure to have you on. And thank you so much for being on twice in 2 weeks. It was certainly my pleasure.
I know. Listen, thanks for that, mate, and thanks for your support as well.
Anytime. Tony, break a leg tonight, and we will see you soon, and looking forward to the new music.
Cheers, Steve. Thanks.
Cheers. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.